So for our project, we decided to create a website. If you didn't already know, the University of Maryland was founded as an agricultural school. It stayed a predominantly agricultural school, but slowly declined until it became the small yet historically rich program it is today. Our project focused on exploring the events and potential causes leading up to the shift of such a strong agricultural school to what is now known as a predominantly STEM and business university, which leads to our research question. What is the historical context that caused the University of Maryland to transform from an agricultural college to the diverse, multifaceted school it is today? Up here at the top, you'll find that our website is organized into sections containing the timeline of events, archived documents, impacts that specific events had, and finally our sources. We'll first dive into the timeline. First, I'll answer why a timeline. This timeline traces key moments in UMD's shift from an agricultural college to a predominantly STEM and business institution. It combines archival documents, enrollment changes, campus developments, and broader social forces that influence the university's academic priorities.
In 1856, the University of Maryland College Park was originally named the Maryland Agricultural College. A few years later, in 1862, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln signed the Morrill Land Grant Act, providing federal support for state colleges to teach agriculture, mechanical arts, and military tactics. The abolition of slavery in 1864 in Maryland triggered the decline in tobacco farming due to the labor shortage of workers. Agriculture in Maryland became diversified into wheat, dairy, and other cash-growing crops that were not as labor-intensive. Subsistence farming declined and large-scale operations became the status quo, thus corroborating the need for federal funding to enact teaching agriculture. Many decades later, in 1914, the Smith-Lever Act provided funding and research for the university to expand into different programs, from agriculture to public health and youth development, and changed its name to the Maryland State College of Agriculture. The Second Industrial Revolution led to increased productivity, efficiency, and drove urbanization, leading to fewer family-owned farms. There was a rural shift as it pushed rural labor to factories located in large cities. Agriculture became integrated with industry, leading to a more modern market economy. In 1926, UMD greatly expanded in Baltimore College Park, with 13 new buildings, additional acreage, and enrollment. The School of Commerce, now the Robert H. Smith School of Business, was established then. Society's growing emphasis on education and its curiosity for new discoveries led to rising enrollment, ushering in an era of progressivism that drove major scientific advancements. This movement opened the door for creation and expansion of new academic majors to meet the evolving interests of students. In 1946, and in our current time, present expansion beyond agriculture and enrollment doubled nearly 10,000 students under the GI Bill, signaling the need for a broader range of academic programs and facilities. Over the following decades, the university built several landmark structures that reflect its transformation into a large, multifaceted institution, such as McKeldin Library in 1958, a central hub for academic research and study. In 2001, the Clarice Smith Performing Arts Center. In 2004, the M Square Research Park/Discovery District, a large research and innovation hub. And finally, in 2019, the Brennan Uribe Center for Computer Science and Engineering, one of the major STEM facilities.
We have found 5 documents through archival research that properly represent the University of Maryland's shift from an agricultural school to a more diverse school. The first picture is a plan for the dairy farm. The image depicts a large farm with multiple barns. The picture is much larger than the current farm we have on campus. It shows the university's early commitment to a large agricultural research and production program. The second document we found was a pamphlet created by the University of Maryland calling for more producers in the agricultural industry. The shift is focusing on food production to feed the growing population projected in the 21st century. It highlights the university's forward-looking approach and commitment to new and innovative ideas. The third document is an alumni funding initiative. The agricultural alumni chapter attempted to improve the program by nearly doubling the funding from $29,150 to $40,000 from 1992 to 1993. Showing alumni investment in sustaining and expanding agricultural education, explains the shift and growing importance of agriculture. The fourth document is a newspaper clipping from 1994 that outlines increased interest among agricultural students. There was an increase by 300 students in enrollment and a 3,500-acre land grant for extension research off campus. There was a growing need for food science and a new program for the aquaculture degree. It reflects University of Maryland's shift from traditional agriculture to a more modern agricultural approach, and it fits society's needs. The last document is a letter from the then president of UMD, Dr. Kerwin. It highlights a shortage of agricultural teachers and professors, and it impacted the growth of the program. It underscores challenges in maintaining strong academic support within evolving agricultural education programs.
To understand UMD's growth and its lasting impact, it helps to look at how the university's campus layout has transformed over time. When the University of Maryland first opened, it was a small agricultural college surrounded by open fields and farmland. Its mission was simple, to support Maryland's farming economy and train students in agricultural sciences. The campus was quiet, and the student body was small, and the academic focus was narrow. But as the state and the country evolved, so did UMD. Over time, the university expanded far beyond its agricultural roots. Barns and fields were replaced by new academic buildings, laboratories, and programs that reflected growing scientific and technological needs. Gradually, UMD became a hub for innovation, research, and STEM education. Today, the campus looks almost unrecognizable from its early days. It's filled with modern STEM facilities like the Uribe Center, Physical Sciences Complex, and labs for robotics, cybersecurity, environmental science, and quantum research. These buildings show the university's strong commitment to research and advanced learning. This transformation has also elevated UMD's reputation. Over time, Maryland has grown into one of the nation's most respected research and development institutions. Following this evolution, UMD has risen to become a top 20 public university and one of the top 45 universities in the country overall.
Building off what my partner just covered, another major impact of UMD's transformation was the creation of expansion and of several major schools across campus. As the university grew beyond agriculture, it invested heavily in new fields that included the James Clark School of Engineering, the Smith School of Business, the College of Computer like IREB, the math buildings, the science buildings, even the School of Public Health. And all these additions show how UMD shifted towards science, innovation, and problem solving. That shift also completely changed the student population, and instead of a few hundred students that would focus mostly on farming, UMD now has tens of thousands of students across hundreds of majors. And as the programs expanded, so did diversity. The enrollment increased across a bunch of different racial and ethnic groups, making the university a more vibrant and inclusive community than it was in its earlier agricultural days. Another major impact was the economic impact. UMD today plays a huge role in Maryland's economy through tech and research startups, the STEM workforce development, and the federal partnerships with NASA, NSA, and NIST. Through Ventures alone, the university generated millions in revenue, supporting hundreds of jobs, and helped launch dozens of new products, patents, and companies. And even while growing in all these new directions, UMD never abandoned its roots. Its agriculture program evolved to focus more on modern challenges like food security, sustainability, environmental science, and advanced farming technology. And overall, all these changes show how UMD transformed from a small college, agricultural college, into a nationally recognized research institution with massive academic, economic, and community impact.